Okay.
Mom, I had a dream that I was replaced by a diverse woman.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, only this time, it wasn't just me. They were taking all my favorite people and replacing them with diverse women complaining about the patriarchy.
Nothing has brought me greater joy than watching the Walt Disney Company absolutely panic over the last few weeks. They're mad at South Park because they're making fun of their woke ideologies, constantly race swapping or religion swapping everything in their movies.
South Park just dropped a bombshell on Disney that has executives panicking behind closed doors. Trey Parker and Matt Stone unleashed a devastating parody of Rachel Zegler and the Snow White remake that's gone completely viral. The fallout is sending shockwaves through Hollywood as this animated takedown threatens to derail one of Disney's most expensive productions. Rachel's reportedly furious, Disney's scrambling for damage control, and South Park is gearing up for an even bigger attack with their upcoming DEI Special. This Hollywood disaster has spiraled beyond anyone's control, blindsiding everyone involved. Caleb here from Caleb Speaks, bringing you the inside scoop on this explosive situation. What began as controversial casting quickly escalated into a full-blown crisis with Bob Iger himself leading emergency meetings at Disney headquarters. I've uncovered what's really happening behind the scenes, from the shocking South Park ambush to the rumored legal threats between Rachel and Disney. Buckle up, because this Hollywood meltdown gets wilder with each revelation. The trouble started brewing when Disney announced Rachel Zegler as their new Snow White. Fresh off her West Side Story success, Rachel seemed poised for superstardom, but traditionalist fans immediately questioned the casting choice. The classic fairy tale explicitly describes a princess with skin as white as snow, making some wonder if Disney was prioritizing modern messaging over storytelling authenticity. What might have remained a minor casting debate suddenly exploded when Rachel started giving interviews about her vision for Snow White. Rather than showing reverence for the groundbreaking 1937 classic that revolutionized animation and launched the Disney empire, she took a shockingly different approach. She dismissed core elements of the beloved story and outlined plans to completely transform Snow White from a romantic fairy tale into a leadership journey without the prince's storyline. This dismissive attitude toward Disney's pioneering masterpiece struck millions of lifelong fans as almost sacrilegious. The backlash was swift and fierce, not because audiences resist modernization, but because Rachel's comments seemed to disregard the cultural significance of a film that defined childhood for generations. But listen to this. While public controversy was erupting, behind-the-scenes drama was reaching boiling point. Industry insiders reveal escalating tension between Rachel and her co-star Gal Gadot, who plays the Evil Queen. The relationship has allegedly deteriorated to the point where they avoid each other at press events, with witnesses describing uncomfortable body language and zero interaction during a recent awards ceremony. A production source leaked that Rachel complained about Gal stealing scenes with improvised lines that weren't in the script. The friction apparently escalated to such extremes that entire sequences required reshooting to appease Rachel's concerns about screen time and character focus. Creative differences quickly transformed into personal animosity, creating a nightmare scenario for Disney's leadership team. It gets worse. Disney has quietly orchestrated a media blackout around Rachel, systematically canceling her promotional appearances. A high-profile Saturday Night Live hosting gig vanished from the schedule. Major late-night talk show bookings mysteriously scrapped. An elaborate musical showcase planned for Disney World, featuring Rachel performing the film's new songs, silently removed from the calendar without explanation. While Disney publicly attributes these cancellations to innocent scheduling conflicts, multiple inside sources paint a completely different picture. The studio's executive team is reportedly terrified of Rachel going off-script during live interviews and potentially inflaming the controversy further. This unprecedented containment strategy reflects mounting panic within Disney's highest ranks about the film's increasingly troubled public image. You'd expect Disney to shield their lead actress during this firestorm, right? Shockingly, they've abandoned Rachel to weather the storm alone. No public statements of support, no coordinated defense strategy, nothing. This apparent betrayal has reportedly pushed Rachel's team to the breaking point, With credible rumors, they're exploring legal options against Disney for contract violations related to canceled promotional opportunities. A high-level entertainment lawyer connected to Rachel's management confirmed her contract specifically guaranteed numerous high-profile media appearances to showcase her singing talents and build her star power. Disney's systematic cancellation of these opportunities potentially constitutes a serious breach, creating a dangerous legal minefield between the actress and the studio during a critical pre-release period. Just when this situation couldn't possibly get more explosive, South Park ambushed the controversy with their signature Take No Prisoners satire. The iconic animated series has built its reputation on fearlessly skewering celebrities, politicians, and cultural flashpoints with devastating precision. Now they've trained their satirical weapons directly at Rachel Zegler and the Snow White catastrophe in a segment that's spreading like wildfire online. Their episode featured a parody of Rachel that struck with such surgical precision, it instantly exploded across social media platforms. The animated sequence depicted what they dubbed the Snow White meltdown, showing Rachel's character berating everyone around her, dismissing the groundbreaking original animation as problematic and outdated, while insisting the new film was about saving society rather than honoring a treasured story. The timing of this satirical assault is no accident. According to entertainment industry sources, South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone aren't just taking random pot shots at Rachel. They're strategically building toward a major upcoming project called the DEI Special. This highly anticipated episode will serve as a direct sequel to last season's controversial Panderverse episode, which delivered a blistering critique of Hollywood's approach to diversity and inclusion that sparked intense debate throughout the industry. This Snow White parody represents just the opening salvo in what insiders describe as South Park's most ambitious takedown yet of Disney's remake strategy. The forthcoming DEI special reportedly places Rachel's situation at the center of a broader examination of how studios are reimagining classic properties for modern audiences. My sources indicate this special has been in development for months, with Trey and Matt methodically collecting examples and insider information to fuel their satirical critique. What makes this South Park intervention so uniquely devastating is the show's unparalleled cultural influence. When Parker and Stone target someone, their satirical characterization often permanently alters public perception. Their razor-sharp comedic takes become the defining lens through which millions view controversial figures and situations going forward, potentially creating a lasting image problem that even the most skilled publicists struggle to overcome. The segment pulls no punches in its portrayal. In one particularly cutting scene, they animate the Snow White character having a complete meltdown upon discovering she was losing spotlight to the evil queen, a direct reference to the rumored real-life tension with Gal Gadot. This specific detail suggests the South Park team has insider access to the production drama, making their satire even more credible and damaging. The internet's reaction was nuclear. Within hours, memes featuring the South Park parody flooded every social platform. TikTok creators spliced together side-by-side comparisons between Rachel's actual interviews and the animated mockery. Hashtags like Snow White Meltdown and Zegler vs. South Park rocketed to trending status across multiple platforms as millions shared and commented on the controversy. Industry contacts close to Rachel report she's absolutely devastated by the portrayal, describing her as blindsided and humiliated by the public ridicule. The timing is particularly brutal for the young actress who's still establishing her Hollywood reputation after just one major studio success. That's not all. Exclusive sources reveal Rachel drafted a passionate statement defending herself against both the general backlash and specifically addressing the South Park characterization. The carefully crafted response reportedly acknowledged fans' attachment to the original while explaining her artistic vision in more nuanced terms than previous interviews. But Disney executives swiftly intervened, effectively silencing their lead actress at this critical moment. According to a senior Disney PR strategist who requested anonymity, the company's leadership believes that any public statement from Rachel at this point would only intensify the firestorm. Their current approach involves a complete media blackout strategy, hoping the controversy will eventually burn itself out without further fuel. This crisis management tactic has created dangerous friction between the star and studio exactly when unity is most crucial. The timing couldn't be worse for Disney's returning CEO, Bob Iger, who's already battling multiple fires across the company. With disappointing box office returns, streaming service challenges, including the Daredevil Born Again production disaster, and declining theme park attendance figures, the Snow White controversy represents yet another headache for an executive team already stretched thin. Industry analysts suggest Iger's storied reputation for masterful leadership is facing its most serious test yet. For Rachel, the stakes couldn't be higher. This controversy has transformed from a simple disagreement about character interpretation into a potentially career-defining moment. Top casting directors and producers throughout Hollywood are closely monitoring how she navigates this crisis, with her response potentially impacting future opportunities across the industry. A veteran talent manager with multiple A-list clients explained that situations like this can permanently shape a young actor's reputation. The industry is watching to see if she demonstrates resilience, professionalism, and adaptability, or if she lets this derail her momentum, my source revealed. How she emerges from this controversy will influence casting decisions for years to come. The situation raises fundamental questions about modernizing beloved classics. How do you honor cherished stories while making them relevant for contemporary audiences? Rachel's approach emphasized radical reinvention, triggering fierce resistance from traditionalists who feel classic tales deserve preservation rather than transformation. This ideological clash extends far beyond Snow White, touching on broader cultural debates about artistic legacy and creative reinterpretation. What makes this controversy so fascinating is its perfect storm quality: a bold actress making provocative statements, rumored on-set tensions, corporate panic, and now satirical mockery from one of television's most influential shows. Each element amplifies the others, creating a snowballing effect that threatens to overwhelm Disney's typically masterful public relations machine. The looming South Park DEI Special adds another ticking time bomb to the situation. Set to air just months before Snow White's planned release, this expanded satirical takedown could create an insurmountable pre-launch obstacle for Disney's marketing team. Industry strategists are already questioning whether the film's release date might need postponement to distance it from the controversy, a drastic step that would signal serious crisis for a $200+ million production. This entire saga demonstrates how quickly modern entertainment controversies can spiral beyond control in our hyper-connected media landscape. What began as a casting decision and some controversial interviews has morphed into a defining cultural moment, involving Hollywood power dynamics, creative control battles, corporate crisis management, and the awesome influence of satirical commentary on public perception. For Disney, the Snow White disaster forces painful reconsideration of their entire live-action remake strategy. The studio that built its empire on beloved animated classics now confronts growing evidence that reimagining these treasured stories carries substantial risk. Not just financially, but to their carefully cultivated brand identity built over nearly a century. So, what happens next? With South Park preparing an expanded attack, Rachel's team exploring potential legal options, and Disney executives locked in emergency planning sessions, this controversy shows no signs of resolution. The ultimate fate of Snow White 2025 remains uncertain. But what's already clear is that this perfect storm of Hollywood drama will influence how studios approach beloved classics for years to come. What do you think? Should Disney's classics remain untouched, or is modernization necessary for these stories to connect with new generations? Has Rachel been unfairly targeted, or did her comments show disrespect to a cultural landmark? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Caleb Speaks for more Hollywood insider breakdowns. This saga is far from over, and I'll be back with updates as this story continues to develop.